Hi everyone, it's Mitch. It's Monday, November 3rd, and we're ready for a full week of college football. Congratulations to Dave Darby, the winner of our picking contest this past week. Dave didn't have the most games picked correctly, but he had the confidence weighting points strategically aligned well enough to get him the win. Dave would like to thank the Central Michigan Chippewas for leading him to victory. We had college football last night. We gave you the winner. We either ended last week with a winner or started this week with a winner. The game was on Sunday, which is technically the first day of the week, but they call it the last day of that week of college football. I'm not quite sure how that works, but we'll take the winner any day of the week, any day of the week that it falls on. Central Florida, they pretty much dominated the game. They tried like crazy to give the game away. Eventually they did, but they still managed to cover, and that we'll take it. So we either ended last week on a high note or started this week on a high note. The way last week was, I kind of already had it past me, so we'll just say we started this week on a high note. Whether the rest of the people think that's the case or not. Let's move on to this week's games, and we got a great slate again, and I wrote up all the point spreads last night. As soon as I get them, I write them up, and I let everyone know just a little tidbit about what the teams are looking like coming in. I mean, it's real small, but it's out there on the blog, and I know I get requests. People saying, hey, when are you going to publish this thing? I get emails, I get comments on the front, in the forums, and it's like I post them as soon as I get them, and we've already seen a couple line moves. One of those line moves that happened right off the bat was Kansas opened as a 2.5-point favorite against Nebraska, and now they're already a 1.5-point favorite. What we see now is that a few weeks ago I mentioned a stat, and ever since then we've seen kind of this stat kind of level out. And basically what the stat was that the road favorite was killing it. They were like 57% or better, and that just doesn't make a lot of sense. And what we've been seeing now is the home dogs are predominantly covering, so lines are being adjusted in that direction, and they're not, even if they're not adjusted by the sports books, they're being adjusted by the public, and we're seeing that already this morning. LSU is getting 3 points against Alabama, but you could already see that the money is coming in on LSU because the VIG is being adjusted. So LSU is minus 115 at +3. Same thing with Iowa Penn State. Penn State -7 at Iowa, but Iowa is minus 115. Getting those 7 points. So the public is not. They're on the home teams. And that's what it is. They're on the home teams with the points. Why not? Things level out. The lines were skewed in the direction of the road favorites, and these things do have their way of working out over the course of the regular season. Tennessee's a huge favorite over Wyoming. Phil Fulmer loses that one. I think they're going to fire him right on the sideline. They're favored by about 31. Oregon's favored by 13 over Stanford, their home game. We got USC favored by 17 points over Cal. USC's at home. It's a big number. We're going to see if they can do it. We've got just a lot of games this week, and I'm just going to briefly say that this week is like a playoff week. It really is. A lot of those games that would be like minor rounds of playoffs are happening this week in college football, and it leads to the argument of the BCS people that that their system works, that every week is a playoff and all that stuff. And it's like, yeah, some weeks are playoffs, and every Saturday is important. And I say it all the time, and I've been saying it for years, and I'll continue to say it as long as it exists, that the BCS is not about the fans. It's not about putting the best two teams together. It's not even about creating the best matchups on the balls. It's all about making money, and the only reason that it makes money is because it's college football, and then they put it that it's the only game on, and they put it up against reruns of who knows what. I mean, you put it up against The Office a couple times, and I'll tell you what, they're not going to win the ratings race that night. With some of these matchups that they give us in the big bowls. Bowl affiliations have to go. It's a big problem in the game today. I would love to, if I had time, I'd be writing up articles about that almost every day. bowl affiliations, clock rules. These are all issues that need to be addressed. I love the game of college football. 90% of it are great things, but they do little things to tweak it. And the tweaks are never in favor of the fans. It's always in favor of making money. I think, if they want to talk about the tradition, of the bowls and the tradition of this, then they got to stick to the tradition of the game as well and the tradition of the fans. I've had my 2 cents. This is Mitch. Have a great Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. We got college football tomorrow night.